What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another Top Recruit interview. This time we've got Tyler Jensen from Lincoln. He is joining us. He is one of the many offensive weapons that you have seen putting up the hundreds of thousands of yards it feels like Lincoln has put up over the last couple of seasons. CIF finalists. I mean, the accusations of them just being a 7-on-7 team are gone at this point because they're a legitimate contender every single year now. And they've really, I feel like, a little bit beyond your time, Tyler, but like the last 3 to 5 years, Lincoln has definitely been on an upward swing, and you have been a part of that. Thank you so much for joining us. You have also committed, though, and that is where I would like to start. You are going to go play football at Northern Colorado. They are, it says Bear Strong on your post, the hashtag. Are they a specific type of bear?
I couldn't tell you. I'd probably guess a brown bear. I don't know.
Deal. It looks awesome on the helmets, and you can see them at. You can follow them on Instagram at Tyler _2_ something like that. Jensen, some more underscores. I'm trying to read this very fast off my phone. We'll have it for you guys on our social to follow. But congratulations on that, my man. What made the decision for you in the end? Why'd you choose Northern Colorado?
I mean, it was kind of difficult during this time period for recruiting in general. So, I mean, it was difficult. I mean, I'd say a majority of my recruiting happened during a whole COVID-19 thing. So, I mean, just talking to the coaches and then eventually getting on a phone call with Coach McCaffrey, which is the head coach of Northern Colorado. I mean, it just made it really apparent that was the place I wanted to be for the next 4 years. It was just a great atmosphere and everything, and I just wanted to be part of that.
So you guys will forever be kind of a wonky generation because you'll probably be the 1 year where you didn't get to go do any of the real in-person stuff. Do you feel like you'll end up, because you did make it through with being able to play in college, do you feel like you'll end up looking back on this, that was kind of funny? Or was this just stressful nonstop, being like, I don't know if this is going to end up happening? This just like is there any room for looking back on this being like, this is just weird and funny right now?
I mean, I think this is going to be a very unique year that's going to be remembered for a long time. I mean, it definitely added some extra stress with everything because, I mean, like, oh, are we gonna have a season? Oh, when are we going to practice? I mean, and like talking to coaches is kind of tricky because there's like the dead period and everything. So, I mean, I think in the future I'll look back at it and kind of laugh, but like right now, I mean, it's
okay. So you haven't reached the funny in retrospect phase quite yet.
No, not yet. Yeah,
well,
no.
But I'm also laughing because I'm thinking about how like my generation is starting to be able to say, oh, back when I played back in my day, you will never hopefully. God forbid, no pandemics ever happen again. You will never have another generation of kids that will ever relate to when you say, well, back in my day, we moved the season to January and you had to do recruiting on, like, you guys will be forever like one of the weirdest groups just moving through different phases in your life because no one will ever relate to what high school was like for you guys. It's insane to get to see this kind of stuff. So congratulations on that. Let me ask you, though, because I was talking a little bit earlier about the massive yardage, and I look up your max preps, and the first thing that pops up is like a 95-yard touchdown against Cathedral. And, you throw for over 1,000 yards. You guys end up making it to a CIF championship. What was last season like for you?
I mean, it was definitely, we overcame a lot of obstacles and stuff, but, I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, it was my first year on as a starter on varsity, so I mean, I learned a lot as the season progressed. I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, it definitely helps having some great athletes around you. I mean, Keyshawn Smith already making an impact as a true freshman at Miami. I mean, it was fun to just be in an atmosphere with so many great players. It just raised my elevation of playing.
Well, but it's also an atmosphere of insanely tough games, and you guys, having to take on Cathedral and Torrey Pines and Mission Hills and Oceanside, and like you're jumping into the deep end from the very start of the season. So, was there any shock for you in terms of moving up to that, like you said, that full-time playing varsity, lots of athletes, where you were just kind of like, oh wow, this is a whole nother level of football I'm into right now?
I mean, the one thing is that our defense was really good too with a bunch of athletes. So, I mean, every day at practice, it was just a brawl between the offense and defense. Oftentimes, like, we were getting in arguments with each other. I mean, like me and like X on the defense, I was always talking to him, talking back and everything. So, I mean, just playing against I say the best defense I ever played was probably our defense.
Oh, really? Okay, so
Yeah.
paint the picture for me then. The ones going on the one, like the starting O, starting D clashing at practice, you guys are getting chippy. That's what you're talking about, right? Not you versus the scout team.
I mean, even the coaches are getting in fights. I mean, it was just a full out brawl.
Okay, so then let's who wins? I mean, are you going to say that you guys outright just dragged them up and down the field and that's why they were pissed? Or what are we looking at here if this was like a, you're at the 50 going in, season on the line, you've got the Lincoln defense facing against you. Do you have confidence that you can get across that goal line?
I mean, yeah, but it's just iron sharpens iron. I mean, we're just.
So you admit you'd be a little bit scared that you might not be able to beat your defense with the season on the line.
I mean, I'm always going to bet on myself. I mean,
there we go.
Keyshawn Smith on the outside, Benjo in the flats. Like, I mean, I'm going to bet on myself.
That's what I'm getting to. That's what every quarterback always ends up being like, nah, actually, I kind of already had the routes dialed up. Those are the guys I'm going to. Touchdown. No. It seems like also Lincoln, and I'm sure that you'll hit me with the cliche of, oh, you have to be here to understand it, but it feels like Lincoln is one of those ones where people on the outside might not fully understand the full context of why it's so meaningful that team can have a resurgence in the last couple of years. So what was it like getting to get it, inducted into that culture a little bit last year and get a firsthand view of just how much that Friday night bond means to that community?
I mean, it's a completely different culture than I'd say any other program in San Diego. And so just like the history, I mean, we had like 2 pro Hall of Famers that went to Lincoln. I mean, we got so many, I think we're like top 10 in like NFL, like players being put into the NFL. So, I mean, it's just such a great atmosphere. I mean, it was a culture shock at first, but like all of my teammates were all brothers. I mean, there's such camaraderie between all of us. So
when it's something that's gone from, like you said, NFL Hall of Famers to being a little bit down to the school actually being closed and then coming back, having to still find that footing in Western League in some tough years of reforming the program. So what can you tell people about the environment that Coach Day sets up? Because he seems like he puts a lot of interesting and special people at the coordinators, and it's more of a, it might not just be what he's saying, it's what he's doing around everything that puts you guys in a position to be successful.
I mean, Coach Day, he's not only just like a great coach. I mean, he's a great figurehead. I mean, he helps out all the players. I mean, in the classroom, on the field, he's just a great example for every player at Lincoln. So we all just try and strive to be like him. And then we also have some great coaches around. I mean, we got Coach Carter, offense coordinator, Coach new DC, Coach Bashif. So it's just a great coaching staff and everything. So I'm just happy to be part of it.
Coach Day does not do enough in terms of promoting his barbecue skills.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'm a grilling barbecue. Look, I get it. I know what I look like. I don't know what I know what I don't know about that type of terminology, but I believe it's barbecuing that he is very, very good at. There are a couple of other coaches, Coach Gladnick at Torrey Pines being one of them, that loves posting on social media the massive steaks and whatever that he's grilling for the team. You have been there. You have seen it. You have tried it. Are you willing to say that if there was a CIF championship for barbecuing, that Day would be an open division candidate for winning?
I'm betting on Coach Day 7 days a week. I mean, he's the best barbecue I've ever had. We'll go over to his house sometimes for just like some team bonding stuff, and his food's just amazing.
I also have to always ask everyone that plays at Lincoln, have you seen the video of him returning a kickoff for a touchdown against the Buccaneers in the NFL?
Yeah, I've actually seen that. It's crazy to think because he drives around in a golf cart right now.
Well, he's such a gentle dude, and then you see that version of him, and you're like, that's so like explosively crazy. Like, but
I can't put the two together. I mean, I look at him now, and then I look at him then. I'm like, are these even the same person?
Well, but that's what's so interesting about him is that he has a really unique story in the adventure that his life has even taken to getting to the point where it is. So it feels like he's somebody that probably has some pretty insane messages, and some of it isn't even really about football when he's coaching you. It feels like he's the kind of guy that's also teaching you guys just a ton of life lessons. Anything that you can share in terms of that kind of guidance he's giving you guys?
I mean, he always says it starts off in the classroom first. So he pushes all of us to strive to get like a 4.0. I mean, I'm a 4.2 student. A lot of my teammates are high GPA kids.
That feels nice to say, right? I'm a 4.2 student. That's insane. First off, you're a crazy person for having that. So what are the APs then that you're taking to get that? Are we talking like a history and a science and a math? Are you more of an English guy? Where does that fall?
I mean, I'm taking APs in pretty much every class. I think one semester I had, so we take 4 classes at a time, and then we take 4 more at the end of the semester. So I took 4 APs one semester. I mean, it was like, all
right. So, okay. What is your strongest AP? Like, what can I want to pull up something right now. We'll quiz you on the spot just to see how well you've retained it during quarantine. Give me your category of strongest AP.
Ooh, maybe mathematics, I'd say. I don't know.
Right.
I'm a little bit rusty since Corona and everything, but.
So AP math, like how many letters of pi then or how many numbers of pi? I apologize. You can letter off all 3 of the letters of pi, but the numbers of pi, are you that kind of math guy? Like, what are we talking about?
I know it's like 3.1415. Ooh, that's where I kind of fall off, but I'll guess like a 2.3 or something.
All right, hold on. You said 3.141593. Close though. I can dig it. For putting you on the spot immediately there, I'll give you a 10 out of 10 on that segment for putting up with our shenanigans. Really appreciate it. One more time, you need to go check out him right now in the digital sense. Just go watch the highlight tapes because he's going to be someone fun to watch this year, someone to really support in the next 4 years as he represents San Diego well. Not going to be the last time we have you on the show, so we will say see you then as we get closer and closer. We're 47 days away from football at the time of filming. Yeah, exactly.
Every day, yeah, I'm ready.
Is there a countdown clock somewhere in the house? Like, are you that kind of guy, or do you just? I
know. I was doing workouts with my with Coach Bryce, our strength and conditioning guy, and he's just talking about like he's like 48 days, and it's just like every day it's just a day closer. So
all right, folks, we'll leave you with that enthusiastic note. Every day is one day closer to football being back. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, we will check in with you guys next time.